Hi Flosstube! Welcome back. It's Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher. I'm 2 Martini Stitcher here on YouTube and Instagram, and we're back for another weekly cross-stitch update. This is a channel about cross-stitch, so if that's something you like, sit back and we're gonna talk all things cross-stitch. It is Thursday, December 12th. That's right. It's Thursday. I feel very discombobulated. I typically film on Wednesday evenings for our little cross-stitch happy hour and let the video upload overnight because it takes a long time, and I type up the show notes and then I publish it sometime Thursday morning. But yesterday I was hosting Bunko. It was my turn for the year to host our Bunko group, and so I was busy getting ready for Bunko and didn't film Flosstube, so it's Thursday. Weird. I feel very discombobulated by that. And it also means that it's not happy hour. It's Thursday morning and I need coffee. So it's just coffee today, but I did jazz it up with, instead of my usual like little bit of like nut pod or something like that, a little eggnog, a little taste of the season. Because it's not that I'm bah humbug. I love this time of year and I'm here for all of the festivities. I just am not feeling the getting ready or doing any of the things that I should be doing to get ready for the season. Christmas is less than 2 weeks away. I should probably maybe actually focus on purchasing some presents and wrapping them and doing some holiday baking, and I'm doing none of that. Christmas cards, holiday cards, not happening this year. I'm kind of hit or miss on that anyway. I love getting them. And oh, I should have brought it up. I got the cutest holiday card from Daleen, So Grateful. Just adorable. And it's her with her chickens. So cute. Made me so happy. I love getting holiday cards. I feel like every year we get fewer and fewer because I think people are doing them maybe less and less. Or I've just fallen off of people's holiday card list because I am spotty about sending them out. Oops. I'm using my Oliver mug. I think I've talked about this before, that years ago, maybe 7 years ago, quite a while, Abby, our middle, was in the holiday, hold on. Okay, that's better. I realized my speaker was on and you were going to hear all of the notifications on my computer. Nobody needs to hear that. I don't need to hear that on a regular basis. Anyway, so our middle daughter was in the 5th Avenue production of Oliver. It's a big theater down in Seattle. So that's my mug from that, which is a little apropos. I thought I'd use this one today because this weekend, the whole family is headed to see this year's 5th Avenue holiday production, which this year is a new musical, Mrs. Doubtfire. I've heard it's fantastic. It's got, I was a little nervous. I'm always a little nervous when I hear about musicals that are derived off of movies. I don't know. I like an original musical. However, this has a great creative team behind it. And I'm very excited that we get to see it here in Seattle because after it closes here in January, it is headed to Broadway, which is not unusual for 5th Avenue. They develop a lot of shows. I think they've sent like 17 shows, something like that, to Broadway. But it's always fun when you kind of get to see it when it's kind of in workshop. So anyway, that's our plans for the weekend. Hope everybody had a great week. It feels like the week flew by, but it also feels like this was the longest week because I was at Acorns and Threads last Thursday, and that already feels like a month ago. So there will definitely be some good haul. I had a couple finishes, small ones, but I had some finishes. I FFO'd something that is a gift, not my daughter's pillow. I know, I need to get on it. I told you, I'm dragging my feet on this holiday season, and it's gonna bite me. It's gonna bite me in the butt big time. So first, let's do a little Q&A because last week I had asked about Flossmas. We were talking all things Flossmas. Yay! And I had a lot of great comments and some questions and things that I thought we could all just share. So I'm going to go through the things that I wrote down as I went through all the comments. First, someone had asked about Stitch from Stash group and where they could find that. I replied to them with a link to the group. There are actually 2 Stitch from Stash groups on Facebook, but one of them is like kind of like the original. I don't know. It's the one that I'm a part of that seems to be kind of the original creator of Stitch from Stash. So I will link that Facebook group below. I've decided I'm doing it. Stitching from Stash next year, yay! I am, I guess, sort of cheating. I'm kitting some things up, or finishing kitting some things up. You'll see I did a bunch of floss buying to finish kitting a few things up that I for sure want to do next year. Also, let's talk Stitch from Stash for a moment, since we're there. In the rules of Stitch from Stash, you do not have to count against your budget. So the way it works is, I should back up. The way it works is you set yourself a monthly budget anywhere from $0 to $25. $25 is the top end of what you can budget. You do not have to include tools. So I think you don't have to include Q-snaps and needles. Go read go in there. It's all in the file section. So be sure, because I could be lying, but my understanding is it does not include tools. And you do not have to include any clubs that you are already a part of prior to the year. So like I'm already signed up for the project bag of the month. Well, that's $55 a month. So through So Much to Love. And my one for this month is out for delivery today. So we'll see that next week. But you don't have to include any clubs that you are already a part of before it runs like 6 months, January through June, and then July through the end of the year. So you don't have to include any clubs you are already a part of in that budget, which seems to me to incentivize it. I mean, maybe not purposely, but in my brain, like where I'm always looking for the loophole, I will follow the rules, but I will stretch them to their limit. It seems to incentivize like signing up for clubs. Like then I'm like, well then, really, and it's all for you. Like there's no award, there's no prize. Like this is all for your own tracking anyway. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, then maybe I should sign up for a fabric club because I'm going to be using up quite a bit of my fabric stash, stitching from stash, which is kind of the point. But I don't really want to sign up for a fabric club. But I think that it kind of in a roundabout way kind of incentivizes you to be in maybe a floss club or a fabric of the month or some such thing, because then that doesn't count against your monthly budget. However, I don't really want to sign up for a fabric club because I haven't really figured out yet. I like to stitch on everything. Like I stitch on Aida and even weave and all the counts of linen, not all the counts of linen, but I'm working my way up to 40. So I don't think that I want to sign up for a club that gives me, 32 count linen every month or 28 count even weave. Also, I don't know. I just like to purchase things for projects or I don't know. It makes me nervous. A fabric club, they look so fun. I love watching the floss tubes where people show their fabric of the month. But that seems like too much of a gamble or a surprise to me, like getting a color that I would never ever use, or I sign up for 32 count and then come June, I'm like, but I really only want to stitch on 36 anymore. I don't know. So this is all to say that I have committed to Stitch from Stash, the $25 budget plus a piece of fabric. That's how I am thinking, like I'm going to, like if I purchase a piece of fabric, I don't have to every month, but if I purchase a piece of fabric each month, then I'm not going to count that against my $25 budget, I don't think. Because I would sign up for a Fabric of the Month club. I'm just not sure that's the best use of my spending dollars because I worry too much about getting fabric that I won't use. I don't know. It might only make sense in my head, but there you have it. Stitch from Stash. Also, let me see. Lots of a chat about Flossmas and who everybody's watching. I love that because I got an idea of new Flossmas people to watch. So I have been watching or trying to keep up with. I'm kind of falling behind. I've been watching Ginger Gerald, Michelle Bendy, 4 Boys and a Newfoundland Girl. I haven't watched all of Farm Girls, but I've been watching quite a few of Farm Girls. Who else are you guys watching? Hit me up. I want to know who else is out there, because I might find some new regular Flosstube people in the Flossmas mix, and that'd be really fun. It is definitely, someone mentioned that they're getting FOMO, like they have Flossmas FOMO from like especially all the advent calendars. Quite a few of the Flossmas people are opening advent calendars. So either like a stitchy box or a yarn box. Michelle Bendy has a yarn advent calendar where she gets like a little mini skein of yarn every day that is all Harry Potter themed. I want to knit now. Like, she's doing this amazing like cowl. It's going to look fantabulous. I've never had a desire to knit. I kind of want to knit just to get the yarn box and knit me a crazy cowl. I'm not going to, but every day that she shows that yarn, I'm like, oh, maybe I could just get that and learn to knit and just do that. You all are a bunch of enablers. The other fantastic conversation that was happening in the comments was about white floss, because I had shown Peace on Earth, and I'll show it again later, and we'll have a conversation about white floss. Lots of great tips. I love you guys. So many knowledgeable people out there. Oh, the last thing I will say about Flossmas. If you have not checked out, I will link it below. Ellen Reed, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. She's not doing an everyday Flossmas, but she did a Flossmas video that was must watch. It's a music video. She wrote a song about Flossmas and did a music video for it. It's so amazing. It almost topped for me her music video about Janine at Acorns and Threads, but that one's still the best, but probably only because I've been to Acorns and I've met Janine, who is in fact amazing and deserves a song about her. But the Flossmas video, hysterical. Check it out. I will link it below. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, one more thing. In the comments, I talked about diagonal stitching on Farewell to Anger, and I had linked a bunch of tutorials and videos from Brian Blitz Stitch on diagonal stitching, because I had said I'm going to try that out. And we had a whole conversation about grid lines and having obvious page breaks in full coverage. I found another tutorial from my friend Carla at Carla Being Crafty, and I watched that a couple days ago and it was fantastic as well. So if you still have questions about diagonal stitching and parking on a full coverage piece, I will link Carla's. She actually shows like how she does it. I think Brian's was like a Stitch With Me where he showed it. But I sometimes find seeing multiple tutorials on the same thing helpful, because you might pick up something different from each person, and each person does it a little bit differently. And so that's why I think it's super valuable, you know, to look at multiple tutorials. So I will link Carla's diagonal stitching tutorial below. It's been 13 minutes. I've not shown you a single bit of cross stitch. Are you guys ready to see cross stitch? I had finishes. I had finishes this week. First was an old finish that I finished in January, and it was an intended Christmas gift for my brother and his wife, that for some reason I thought I could whip this out in a week last year. What did I know? But I did finish it in January, and it's been sitting around. I fully finished it. It's going in the mail tomorrow after I show you. There is a naughty word on this. So if you have children that you watch with that you do not want them to see a naughty word, this is your warning. Look away. Okay, are you guys ready? I love it. I was gonna do this as I was gonna turn it into a pillow for them last year. But then I found this. It was just a board. It had the hanger on it at Ben Franklin on sale for $4. And I had some fabric, so it's fabric on a board, and I did use the little trick of doing the stripes on the diagonal. And then I did a like little torn red ruffle. I did this as a flat fold. And then I picked up these picks at Joann's on Black Friday weekend. And then I made a couple little bows, which they're kind of sad. I'm not good at the bow making. I did watch Java Girl Stitches. She has an amazing bow tutorial. Well, first of all, if you're not watching her, you should. Her finishes are ridiculous. They're so good. And she has them every week because she stitches like a mad woman. And she has a great bow tutorial. I followed. It still maybe not looks that great, but I just might be bow challenged. But I like how it came out. So there it is. This pattern is from Plastic Little Covers on Etsy, and I will link her below because she has, in addition to this, I'm the Holiday Armadillo was from Plastic Little Covers. She has a lot of fantastic, fun patterns in general, but Christmas patterns. So that FFO is done, is going out in the mail tomorrow. I also stitched up super fast this little one. This is Michelle Bendy Stitchies Noel. I'll show you the pattern. Here's the pattern. Boop. I did it on the called for blue white petty point, 32 count petty point fabric. My friend Carrie stitched this up and had it left over, had some leftover fabric and gave it to me. So I did it on that, but I did it with, can you guys see the sparkle? I think maybe you can a little bit. I did it all in Etoile, which I am obsessed with now. I'll show you the colors that I used. So I used the Blanc Etoile for the white. I used C321 for the red. Whoa. And can you see, I didn't even this was such a fast stitch, guys. It stitched up in no time. That one's going on my tree, but I'm gonna do a whole bunch of others. And then I used C699 for the green. Oh, see, there you go. You can see the sparkle. And I am obsessed with this stuff because I used 2 strands of it, just like, because this is 32 count, just like I would regular DMC. I even loop started with it, and it stitches up like regular old DMC, but it's so sparkly. I don't know that you can really tell how sparkly it is, but it's so sparkly and fun. So I just put that on a little sticky board with some batting, did a little piece felt on the back, smooshed the rickrack in between on a little hanger. Easy peasy, it's so adorable, it's going on my tree. And we got our new tree. New tree came on Tuesday, just in time for Bunko. We're gonna trim it on Sunday morning because that's the next time the entire family will be together before we go to Mrs. Doppler. So that's going on the tree. We'll hang that up. See? Look, Darlene, I've got more stuff up. Darlene at Acorns gives me a hard time about getting more stuff. She's like, there ain't more stuff on the wall. I told her I'm gonna come take some stuff off of her wall and put it on mine and just make it like a lending library. Like I'm just gonna check out her big, gorgeous sampler cross stitches and put them on my wall. So I had another finish. This one is not FFO though. And this is the Flossmas ornament, guys. There it is. I did this on Thursday, going down to Acorns and Threads and back. So it's stitched up really fast. You could totally do this in a day of dedicated stitching. Oh, I'm getting kind of a glare. It's super dark and gray today. So I have my big ring light up, which is kind of washing stuff out. So yeah, it's all done. I put a little needle on it. I was thinking that I have some extra red Mill Hill beads I would put on, but I didn't take them with me. So I ended up just stitching the middle with red, and I think it looks lovely and I'm gonna leave it. In the pattern, there's instructions to backstitch this needle, but when I was done, I just stuck the needle in there and left it. And then in the model on the pattern, there's a button on this little white patch. Darlene gave us all these little 2019 charms at Acorns during the first Thursday, and so I just stitched it right to my piece because it's charted for the date over here. But I just love it. I love how it came out. I need to fully finish it, which I will do this week. So adorable. It is the 2019 Flossmas Ornament by 4 boys and a Newfoundland girl. I will link to the pattern below. And this was the giveaway for last week. Let's do that. Let's just do giveaway since I'm showing it, because look, it stitched up so fast. I think Michelle Bendy has already done 2 of them. She might have already done 3. They're really quick, really fun, great pattern. You could totally have that on your tree for this year. So that was the giveaway from last week, was 5 copies. I'm giving away 5 copies of the Flossmas pattern. I did have someone comment with concerns about giving away a PDF pattern. I get it. I would never give away a PDF pattern that was like my PDF pattern, but I had already talked to Patty. I had messaged her and said, I love the ornament. I love the charity, because the ornament, we talked about this last week, the ornament, the sales from the ornament is going to support Muscular Dystrophy Canada, because that is Caroline Off the Grid Needle Art's chosen charity for Flossmas this year. I think I might have said MS last week. I had MD in my head and it came out MS. Muscular Dystrophy Canada is, so all of the proceeds from this ornament chart are going to Muscular Dystrophy Canada. I think that's fantastic. Talented designer, great charity, what's not to love? So I had contacted Patty and said, I love the ornament. I would love to give away 5 on my Flossmas, or on my Flosstube channel. And she was all on board with that. So I have purchased from her 5 copies of the pattern. She is going to email it to the winners. So that's how that's going to work. She's on board. I would never give away a PDF pattern that was like my PDF that I had purchased and stitched. So, which is one of the reasons why, in all honesty, I prefer printed patterns, because then I can pass the stash on them. So a lot of times I will buy printed patterns. You know, if you have not heard, Michelle Bendy Stitchy Designs, her Etsy shop, she opened an Etsy shop for PDF patterns so that you can get her patterns as PDFs now. Yay. Which is great. I like to buy them printed if I can, so that I can pass the stash. I'm not passing the stash on this because I'm going to stitch this like at least 3 or 4 more times. But you can go get it at her Etsy and I will link it below. I'm all over the place today, guys, right? You guys are used to seeing me with a little bit of a cocktail. This is me in the morning on caffeine. Cheers. I am giving away 5 copies of Noelle from last week. So since I was giving away 5 copies, I did the random YouTube comment picker to pick the 5, and here are the 5 winners. Are you ready? If you are one of these 5 people, send me an email with the email address that you would like the pattern to be sent to from Patty, 4 boys and a Newfoundland girl. So the first winner is Long Dog Stitcher. Yay! Second winner, Kathy Walker. Third winner, Casey G. Fourth winner is Dawn Petite. I will comment on your comment, on all of your comments. And the 5th winner is Christy Martin. So yay, you guys all get the Flossmas 2019 ornament. And if you didn't, go buy it. It's $2 Canadian. So I think when I bought the 5 copies, it was like $1.57 US. Good cause, cute ornament, go get you yours. And I did not use, the only called for color I used, because I was just pulling stuff from my stash so that I could take it with me to First Thursday, was the blue. So it's 597, gorgeous color. And then I just pulled other, like I pulled another yellow, red, green, brown from my stash. And if you want those numbers, let me know. Or I'll put it in the description box, which DMC colors I used in case anybody cares. So that is finishes. Yay! Okay, what else I worked on this week? Works in progress that are not finished. I was working on homework. Still working on homework. This might be the first week that I don't get everything done, guys. I don't know. So I can't even remember And I don't have my notebook up here with me. Seriously, it's like this is my first Flosstube. I've been doing this for, you know, 7 months, something like that. 6 months, 7 months. You'd think it was my first one. I didn't bring my notebook, so I can't remember what I stitched on for each, like what task each of these went to, but you're gonna see them all. First up, Harry Potter book covers. And I guess this is actually another finish because I got a page finish. Ah! Are you guys ready? So it's all off the Q-Snap. I finished it up yesterday morning, Tuesday night. Are you guys ready? I gotta back up for this. Gotta back up. Here it is. There we go. Another page finish. And look, I'll show you guys the unicorn because he's really coming in now. Oh. This is a lot of fabric, people. Okay, there he is. There's the little unicorn. There's his head. So this next page is the last one on this book. So it'll be one more page, and it's a full page. It's not a partial. The partial was up at the top. So it's a full page down at the bottom, but then that's it. Then I will have finished the entire first book. So this last page, it's the unicorn's legs, and then it's the like bottom design where it says J.K. Rowling across the bottom. So it's like a little diamondish pattern at the bottom. So that's it. I am so excited. And that also finished up my 1200 by the numbers for December for full coverage fanatics. And so now I need to knock out another 1200 stitches before Christmas, and then that will catch me up and I will have done the 1200 by the numbers for the entire year. I better get back to work. So I can't take a break on it after the page finish like I did last time. I got to get right back on it tonight. And I was doing more than one block a day this past week, because I could just, like, I was getting so close. Like, you know how you kind of like rush to the finish. I'm like, oh, if I do like 2 blocks tonight and 3 blocks tomorrow, I'll be done by middle of next week. So, oh guys, I love it. And here's the thing. So I started this, I need to look back. I think I started this in March, but I didn't work on it every day. I don't think until like July, until end of June, maybe. I didn't work on it every day. So I started this in March. I should be done with the first book in February. Now that I'm working on it every day, the pages have been taking me about 2 months to do. So then that would be the first book done. I've been saying I think I will be done with this in about another 2.5 years. So you're probably doing the math now saying, Erin, if it's going to take you like 9-10 months to do the first book, there are 7 books. Why do you think this is going to take you 2 years? This is a very good question. But the answer is that when I get done and I have the first book done, I'm actually almost a quarter of the way done with the entire pattern. Just because of the way this H is so much bigger, the slice of the first book is a proportionally bigger piece. So this is almost, so it's 5 pages down. Is that right? Yes, it's 5 pages down and 4 pages across. It's 20 pages. So when I get down here, this is not a full page. There's still another like 13 stitches left on those pages. So I actually don't even have like all of those pages done, but most of them, like almost the whole page. So that'll be 5 pages done out of 20. So I think I might still be right about the 2 years. Or I need to stitch faster. Isn't that the story of our lives? We all just stitch faster, stitch faster. All right, so I worked on Harry Potter book covers. On Thursday when I went down to Acorns and Threads, I worked on the Flossmas ornament, which was for no reason. It didn't fit any challenge, nothing. I just really wanted to stitch it, so I did. And I had also taken Noelle with me that Thursday, and I didn't get it started that day, but I stitched this all on like, I think I started this Sunday night at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night and finished it up the next morning. Super quick, super fun. And look, I have it in, I kept the whole little project in a little Christmas bitsy ball. See? And I'm just leaving it in there because I'm going to stitch more of these. Okay. So I also worked on Thursday when I finished the Noelle ornament. On the way back, I worked on the way back on the train, I worked on Christmas List. My Christmas List by Silver Creek Samplers. This was for one of the Enchanting Stitches challenges. I can't remember what for, but I know I needed 250 stitches in this for it. And I did, on the train ride back, I did turkey dressing, just the words, turkey dressing, which was exactly 250 stitches. That never happens. I counted it 3 times because I was like, that can't be right. So there we go, turkey dressing. And this will get some more work this week because I have it slated for another challenge. Something with an R in it for reindeer, maybe? I don't know. So there we go, turkey dressing. And I'm kind of starting to plan for 2020 because I kind of need to have, you know, an idea of what I'm doing. We're going to be out of town between Christmas and New Year's on a trip with my in-laws and my brother-in-law and his family, which will be really fun, but we don't come back until after the first of the year. So I feel like I kind of need to have everything planned. You know, I'm not working on getting ready for Christmas, but I'm planning my 2020 cross-stitching. Priorities. But so, and in thinking about doing Stitch from Stash and thinking about doing Mania, I went back and looked at this past year. I really kind of found Flosstube and all the Facebook groups in like February, March, April. I didn't hear about Mania. I didn't know anything about Mania until the very end of April. And it just seemed like I was like, I think at the time I had 4 WIPs, which already seemed like nuts and crazy to me. And I remember watching the Mania stuff happening and thinking, those people are crazy, like fun to watch, but they're crazy. That's insane. And I could never get that together. It was the end of April. So what I did for Mania this past year was I thought, well, I could start 5 things. I could do 1 a week. There were 5 Wednesdays in May. I thought, well, I could probably get it together and start 5 things. And that would be a stretch for me, but it would be kind of fun. So that was my plan going into Mania. I ended up that month starting 9 things. Apparently once you start things, you just keep starting things. And then I just kept going. I kept starting things once a week through like August, September. So I looked back at what I had started in May that I haven't finished yet. And this is one of them. I started this in May, guys. So I think next year I want this to be one of my focus pieces. I mean, it's big. It's a lot of stitching. It's deceptively large. But I love stitching letters. Turns out I love stitching letters because see, look how big this fabric is. It's long. It's a lot of stitching, but I think this might be one of my focus pieces for next year because I would really like to have this for next Christmas. And it's a super fun stitch. So this is on 16 count Wren, Aida by Picture This Plus, 16 count? Yes, 16 count Aida in the colorway Wren from Picture This Plus. And I am stitching it with all the DMC, except the snowflakes I'm doing in Etoile, which aren't really showing up here. They show up in person, I promise. So I worked on that last week. It's gonna get a little more work this week, and I'm feeling like this might be a piece I want to finish in 2020. What do we think? Okay, the next piece I worked on was Peace on Earth by Cottage Garden Samplings. And I'll show you what I got done on this. There we go. I finished out this snowflake. Can you see that? There you go, you can kind of see it. And then I did the other green on the border and the red little berries. So pretty. I need to decide where I'm going next. I'm gonna leave the bird for last because I love him and I want to save him for last. So I'm either gonna be working on this house, which a commenter said was a beast, looks like it, or this field of white. So white, because I was talking about overdyed whites last week and also lamenting that I was worried that this fabric was a little too light and that my white wasn't showing up, which in person, it does show up better than when it's showing up here. But I had someone comment that they actually had done this piece and had used a very light, warm gray instead of white. Genius. So there's one tip for you. I also had someone mention anchor white, which I don't know why I didn't think about trying anchor white too, because I had that whole like test stitch. I had talked about anchor black versus DMC black for Farewell to Anger and had done a test stitching on anchor black because I had heard it had better coverage, and I am going with the anchor black for Farewell to Anger. So I might pick up some white too. So if you don't like how your white stitches up or coverage of white, maybe try some anchor. Let me know what you think. And then someone else had said, use an extra strand of floss. Also genius. So this is 36 count. What is it? This is the one, oh wait, do I have it in here? No, I don't. This is like the one piece that I don't have the tag for the linen. I'll put it in the description box below what this is on. But it's a 36 count, so I'm only using one strand. So I think I'm going to, and I have been using the chalk, the Gentle Arts chalk for it. But I think when I get down to this snowfield down here, I'm gonna use 2. And we'll see how that goes. So those are all the fantastic tips I had gotten on white floss. And I'm passing them on to you because some of them were new to me and I love it. Keep the tips coming. So I'm gonna try 2 strands in that big field of white and see if I get a little more coverage or a little more contrast, so. All right, I also worked on, this only got 100 stitches in it, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway because I love the chart. So it's not a lot of progress, but I don't really care because I love it. Game of Swans. This was, I know this was for School of Magical Stitches for the 3 brothers. So I only need to do, I think 100 stitches. I think it was just 100. We'll see. But Game of Swans. And here is my progress on that. So here's where I am on that. And you can see it really, like I really didn't do a whole lot. I did this color in here. This is actually the back of the swan. And what else? That might have been about it. I think I did, oh, I think I may have done that little flower. Really, it's not a lot. I just wanted to show this piece off again because I love it so much. I love it so much. This might be another focus piece next year. That's something I'm toying with, is doing like maybe a focus piece each month that I try to get to fit into all the challenges, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. So yeah, and I'm doing that with all the called for Gentle Arts colors. And I love it. All right, and then I started on late Sunday night when the new homework and everything came out. Because I've talked about this before, I'm on the West Coast, so after 9 p.m. I can start working on the next week's. I don't know what this is for, but I started the Snow House. Lizzie Kate, this is gonna go in my powder room downstairs instead of to switch out for the winter ABCs, which is really Christmas ABCs in my mind, because it's got a big old Christmas tree on it. So I started this. And I'm doing it on a piece because I didn't have any more. I had bought a huge piece of 28 count flax linen that was just enough for all 12 yearbooks and the 4 seasonal ABCs. So I don't have another piece of that flax. So I'm using a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco that one of my fun little Renton stitchy people brought to our meetup last month and was giving it away. So I snapped it up. So I'm doing that on the 28 count, and I did the border, which was, I think, more than I needed, but I was very excited because you guys know I'm not really a border first stitcher, but this was really easy monotonous stitching on Sunday night, and I got into a rhythm and I did the whole border and it matched up. Woohoo! It's small, it's simple, but I was still thrilled. And I am stitching this. It calls for a ton of weeks dye works. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 colors in that little chart. I just don't think so. A lot of them are the same colors from the yearbook, and so I am using, which are those? So I'm using some of those, and then I'm going to be making some changes. These are the rest of the colors I'm using for that. I don't love the brown house. I hope I put a Post-it note somewhere with what I decided. I wasn't smart enough for that. I'm changing this up. It's going to be a red house with a black roof and a gray door instead of a pink door and a brown roof. I'm changing it up, changing some of the colors just to go with my decor a little bit more and to kind of match my house. Well, my house isn't red. My house is actually gray with a red door. So I'm going to do a red house with a gray door. Don't know why. Anyway, so that was the start of that. And I need to get that done by the end of the year. I think I might go to Hawaii with us. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I like to take small things that are easy to stitch on trips. So, and then on Monday, I worked on Emily's house, and this fit into one of the challenges this week. Could be something with a roof. I don't know. Guys, it's the holidays. I'm losing my mind. But I wanted to stitch this on Monday with my Kitsap Stitcher people because this is part of a SAL, Pacific Northwest Emily's House. So PNW Emily's House SAL. And I kept working on the border because when we talked about borders the other week, quite a few people mentioned that the Emily's House border should maybe all be done first because they had trouble with it. So I just plugged away some more on the border on the way down. It's a lot of border, guys. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make the border go all the way around before I can't take it anymore and start working on the inside. But we'll see. I'm almost to the bottom over here. I think I have one more these little doodahs are where the flowers go. Could show you the pattern. That'd be helpful, right? Are you guys just laughing at me today? You should be. Emily's House by Lindy Stitches. Look, yay. So I'm working on this green vine border. So I'm almost to the bottom because these little things here are where the flowers go. And I think I have one more. I think I have one more after this, and then I'm at the bottom, or that might be the bottom. I just need to finish out the vine and make the turn. And you guys, it's stressing me out that this might not meet. I usually don't worry about it, but for some reason, because so many people said, I had to rip that border out like 3 times. Ah! And I am doing this on 36 count Drapple Brown linen by Extra Designs that I got from Shakespeare's Peddler. I love it. That's really pretty. And I'm doing it with all the called for flosses, which is a mix of DMC and Gentle Arts. So I like that. I'm going to try to work on that every Monday when the Kitsap Stitchers are meeting up and work on our little SAL. I feel like I'm stitching with them virtually. All right. And then the last thing I worked on so far this week, seriously, I've got a lot of stitching to do in the next few days if I'm going to get all the homework and assignments done. I worked some more on Merry and Bright, and it's going okay. I still feel like I'm a bit of a mess on this linen, but the ball tip needle is helping. So I don't have a cover picture of this because there isn't one on the pattern. Sorry. It's by Ship's Manor, and I'm using all of the Ship's Manor flosses, and this is a 32 count linen in Mystic by Picture This Plus, and there we go. So I got this ornament done, and started on this tree. And this ornament I messed up. It is now a personalized ornament. For some reason, I made it one stitch too long, so I had to change up this pattern in the middle. So it's personalized now. And now I have a sticky note on my pattern that says, do not count off of this ornament. It'll be fine. It's a whole bunch of motifs. And there's numbers up here, there's an alphabet down here. So it's totally fudgeable, it's not a problem. I just need to remember the next time I pick it back up not to count off that. I have to say a lot of my patterns have sticky notes on them that say, don't count off of this. I'm still loving the flosses. I still think my stitches look a little wonkadoo on this linen, which is totally me. I'm sure it's totally me. But for some reason, it just doesn't bother me. Like that, I'm sure, isn't it one hole too high? That's not right. But for some reason with this pattern, it's not bothering me. Like normally it would really be bugging me that it looks so, what's Teresa's word, a little wabi-sabi? I'm not sure that that's the right word. She uses it for her grungy fabrics that are a little different. So, but that's it. There you go. Merry and bright. I love the floss colors on this. It's so fun. It's such a different palette, and some of the flosses like this one. Look at this. Lose Lolly. That is, I mean, come on. That is so fun. So, here we go. That's it. That's all I worked on this week, guys. But it feels like a lot. Like I had a page finish on Harry Potter and 2 ornament finishes. I tend to start really big projects, so I'm kind of loving these ornaments that just like whip out like that, right? That's pretty good. Haul. Oh, this is getting to be a long one because I have some haul. Here's what we're gonna do. Since we just talked about ornaments, I'm going to do the giveaway for next week. Now I'll show you what that is and what you're gonna say if you want it. And then I'm gonna do haul, because if you are not interested in what I purchased or you don't like haul, who doesn't like haul, then you can peace out, Boy Scout, because it's already getting kind of long and I have probably another 10 minutes. So since I am all into the small Christmas stitching this week, but I'm not ready to give up Bendy Stitchy's Noel yet. Oh, maybe I should have given one of those away. Okay, you go buy it. Go buy it from our Etsy. I will link it below. I am giving away 3 little ornament card kits that I found. So one is a Noel. That's a fun Noel. And this is a stitch a card. These all come with everything. So they come with 18 count Aida fabric, floss, needle, comes with the card. You could do it as a card or as an ornament. So Noel, there's this little pretty lace ornament with poinsettias on it. And it comes with fabric, lace, the whole 9 yards to do that little ornament. And one person's gonna win all 3 of these because I think they're fun and they'll stitch up fast. And then this last one is a little season's greetings. And this is another stitch a card. And they are all unopened kits. So if you would like to stitch these, you're gonna tell me I want to stitch the ornaments. Ornaments. That's gonna be the key word I'm looking for. I want to stitch the ornaments. So these are what I'm giving away this week, since I apparently am all into stitching little ornaments. It only took me until the middle of December to get into stitching ornaments. Maybe next year I should do it earlier. We'll see. I have a lot of ornament patterns in my stash. So let's look at stash enhancement, shall we? So I went down to Acorns and Threads for First Thursday, which I didn't even talk about. It was, as usual, amazing, so fun. The only bummer thing was, it's the first time we've had it happen, our train was really late in the morning. We waited like an hour and 20 minutes for the train to show up, which is crazy because we pick it up just south of Seattle. It's the second stop. Like, the train originates in Seattle. So they must have had mechanical problems in the morning. We were freezing our butts out on the platform waiting for that train And all we wanted to do was get down to Acorns to see our friends and shop. But other than that, it was so fun. Lots of people brought things. I'm probably gonna forget. I already showed you the charm that Darlene gave everybody. My friend Carrie had picked up, I think she found it at a thrift store. She had found this little Mill Hill kit, and she knows I like the Mill Hill kits, and it's Mount Rainier Santa. Mount Rainier's right by us. So she gave me that kit. Isn't that sweet? And then Melissa, who's one of the Kitsap stitchers, gave us all a little, and these are now, like, these are seriously my favorite scissors. These little super snips. So I'm thrilled to have another pair of them. They're so great for traveling. So she gave us all a little pair of scissors and a DMC floss. Wasn't that sweet? And then Diane brought a whole bunch of needle minders that she had made, and I'll let us pick a little needle minder. So I picked this little snowman, and he, now that I've shown him to you, he's now going on my snowman stitch. Stephanie with Stitch Goes My Heart, who is an absolute doll. She also brought us needle minders. Isn't that cute? Look at that. I think it says Happy Thanksgiving. Something Thanksgiving greetings. I don't know, to bring my graders up. But it's like a bottle cap needle minder. So cute. And there's a turkey on it. And you know, I have plenty of turkey stitches. And then Wendy of Bags by Wendy made us all one of these little bags. Can you even look how adorable this is? And now that I've shown it to you, guess what's going in it? My snowman stitch. Look how cute he is. And it is just, this is well made. You guys, I will link her below as well, because this is just, and I love, it's perfect for those little, you know, half page patterns. I don't need big project bags. I love this. So cute. So thank you guys, everybody who was down there at First Thursday. It was so much fun. It's always, it was busy and crowded, and we all jammed ourselves around the table, and just a fantastic time. It's always so nice to catch up with everyone and then see all the people that I haven't seen for a while. And I did a lot of shopping. Probably the first hour I was there, I thought before I sit down and stitch, I'm gonna get all my shopping done, because I had a list. I had a list and I stuck to it, and I only bought one thing that wasn't on my list. So I'll show you guys. Mostly what I was doing was kitting up, finishing kitting up with floss, a bunch of things I want to start next year. So I'm gonna, I put all the floss, I came home, because I figured you guys didn't want to see just a whole bunch of floss, and I wanted to get it sorted so I remembered what went where. So I'm going to show you the patterns and the floss that I was kitting up, but I didn't buy all the patterns there. I did buy Blue Flower Night Walk Down, because this has been on my list forever. I think I want to start this for Carla's Black Cat birthday sale next August, because look at the huge, like, we have a black cat that is big. He's big. We joke that he's a mini panther, but this cat looks like a panther. What? I love it. So I know you guys have seen this before, but I finally bought it, and I walked down and I decided I wanted to try my hand at some 40 count. So I bought myself just a little piece of 40 count Newcastle linen and light mocha, because I figured this would be good. I was going to do, my idea was I was going to start, and I'll show you guys this now too, because I printed it out, if I can find it, heartstring, Beth Twist heartstring samplery. She has quite a few freebies on her webpage, on her, is it a blog? I'll link it below. And I wanted to do, I had seen a couple other folks do this one. Seriously, I printed out several of her freebies. This one, Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. Because it's charted for 40 count, it's small, so if I was terrible or hated it, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now that Thanksgiving's over, I think that'll be a next year one. But she had this freebie, which is a little bit bigger of a pattern to go on 40 count, but I might just try it anyway. She has this freebie on her blog as well. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all year. So I might do this on the 40 count. Speaking of Beth Twist, Heart String Samplery, she was there at First Thursday. See, it fits. It fits. Acorns and Threads, she was there. Always fantastic to see her and chat with her. Oh, I think this goes with it. But she has a new pattern. There's nothing in her Etsy shop right now except for this pattern. She's closed it down and is taking a break. Yay, I'm all for designers taking a break. You guys work hard. But right now, this is the only thing in her shop, and I bought it because, look at that. Whip it good. Whip it. Whip it good. Whip it real good. Okay, I dating myself. Totally danced to that in junior high. But how cute is that pattern? So that's the only thing in her shop. You can only get it now. She's calling it the Giving Chart for Christmas. So the proceeds of the sale of the chart, so it's posted now, she's taking it down at the first of the year, and then it will be unavailable until sometime later. She didn't say when, but at some point this will be available as a printed chart, but not immediately. And right now you can only get it as a PDF on her Etsy shop, which I will link below. And all the proceeds are going to an organization called Outgrowing Hunger. I love it. Amazing, once again, amazing designer, fantastic charity. Go get you some Whip It. Whip it good. Love that. That's probably not gonna be Mania start. So I got some 40 count linen. That was a journey. That was a journey, people. So 40 count linen. And then everything else I bought were, oh, I bought this pattern. This is the only other pattern I bought and kitted up. We're having a Beth Twist day. It's Beth Twist day. I belong to Cross Stitch Nation. Yep. I want to stitch that. And I think I'm gonna do it on the same 28 count even weave that Gobble Gob is on, because it's a huge old hunk of fabric. And so I got all the flosses. So I bought the chart and the flosses. I'm going to use fabric from my stash. And then here is a bag of floss that belongs to Strawberry Fields Forever, The Long and Winding Road, and Olga by Plum Street Samplers. So that's the floss for these 3 charts. I'll just keep it all together so I know that they're in here until I'm ready to start them. These are all possible Mania starts. Actually, this I think I want to start earlier than that. I've asked for that shaker box for Christmas. We'll see. It's not cheap, but I really want it. But I would never just, weird, like, you guys will see I dropped over $100 at Acorns on floss and patterns and fabric. But $100 on a shaker box, 120, I don't know. They look amazing. I really want one. It's not something I would buy for myself. But if I don't get it, I'm sure I can find something to put that on. So those are now all kitted up. I also bought the floss and fabric. I had the Color of Winter, already owned that pattern, and I bought floss and fabric for it. And this fabric, it is so good. It is a Lakeside Linen Chantilly Cream, and it really is like a dusty rose-ish color. And I think it's gonna be amazing with that color palette, Color of Winter. That might be a January start, because I feel like I should stitch that in the dead of winter, don't you think? I also got all the flosses for Suffrage Act, because I want to stitch that next year for the centennial, and because pretty important election coming up next year. So that's getting stitched. I got the flosses. Don't know why we know all the patterns in there, because it is. And that's it. that's it. So that is what I kitted up at Acorns. Woohoo, but that was plenty. That was plenty, but that's all kitted up. And then on Saturday, I went to our library stitchy meetup, and one of the ladies there brought me another piece of 40 count platinum. So, and I think she was just gonna give it to me, but that's a big piece, like 13 by 18, 40 count, that she just said she wasn't gonna use, and she knew I was going to start trying 40 count, so I bought that from her. And then a couple of my Thanksgiving weekend purchases came in. So I had placed an order with Trish at Threads Entwined because sale, and I want to support her. And so I got, yes, sorry, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I got this stuff from her. This I've got is 32 count Country French Rain. This is the called for fabric for Snow Village, and I've seen a couple people doing it. My friend Carrie's doing it, so I've seen this in person, and it's just a really pretty color. I really like that. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but on sale it was a really good price, and I like that. So I got that, and then I also picked up a piece of 36 count weathered shingles. Is this R&R? I've watched a couple people that have talked about this and that it's like one of their favorite neutrals, and I haven't seen it anywhere. And so when I saw it on her website, I snagged it. I can see why. I'm now gonna need all of it. It is the perfect grayish weathered shingle. If you see it anywhere, let me know, because it is the perfect grayish. I'm gonna stitch the heck out of this linen. I don't know what I'm gonna put on it, something. I got rack stack, because, oh, hey. What is this called for? 36 count, it's 32, I don't care. These are tiny, I'll make it a little bigger. So I got rack stack. After doing plum pudding, I couldn't resist anymore. I got mice in the sewing room and turkey, because I didn't have it yet. So that came from Trish at Threads Entwined. I also got an order in from 123 Stitch, because I ordered, well, I ordered in all of the white floss top, Helen D, East Coast Crafter. Is she East Coast Crafter on Instagram? Helen D on Flosstube. She's been using Sulky White and been singing the praises of using Sulky thread. So I bought some white, I bought some parchment color, and I bought an off-white that ships separately for some reason. So I'm gonna try the Sulky too. Anybody else using Sulky White? Stitch with the Sulkies, let me know. I'm apparently trying all about trying all the other white. And then the rest of the order was 2 pieces of linen and all of the beads for a couple of mirabilias I am starting next year. So I have purchased, should I grab them? I'll grab them, hold on. I should have thought to get them. Okay. We have to go to Vegas for like 10 days in July for my daughter's dance nationals. And I thought this would be the perfect thing to start and work on there. Royal Games. I bought these a little while ago at Threadneedle Street. They're the only mirabilias that have really ever called to me. They're amazing. And so I bought all the fabric and beads and Krynic for those. So these, the rest of it is a bunch of DMC. Bunch of DMC, they each call for 2 Krynic and some Mill Hill beads. So they're not fully kitted yet because I haven't gotten the DMC, but I figured I would get those. So, and then that's it. I say, oh, nope, one more thing that came from Amazon. More bobbin spray and a forest screw. Is my bag empty now? That is it. Oh no, I missed one. One other thing I kitted up at Acorns and Threads. Needle stands. I had the pattern. I had this fabric that I had gotten off of Stash Unloading that I think will be good. And so I just got some flosses. And I even already had a couple, so this isn't even all of them, but those are the ones I got at Acorns. Because I'm in planning. I'm in planning for 2020, guys. We're gonna do Stitch from Stash. I'm gonna stay in Enchanted Stitching. Oh, I did buy and have not printed out yet, but I'm thinking this weekend I'm gonna get it printed out and assembled, so I'll show it next week, but I'll link it below. Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches, came out with her planner, her 24 hours of cross stitch planner for 2020. I bought it, it looks amazing, but I need to print it out and figure out how I wanna organize it. So hopefully I'll get that all binderized for next week and I can show that to you, because I am all about the 2020 planning right now. What I'm starting, what I'm gonna work on. I think I wanna pick a couple bigger pieces to focus on finishing next year. I don't know. What are you guys' plans? Who's all planning 2020? What are you guys doing? Are you doing a year of WIPs? Are you doing focus pieces? Are you doing no new starts? Admire the people who are attempting no new starts. Maybe by 2021, I will feel overwhelmed by my WIPs and not start anymore. Let me know what you guys are planning. I am so excited for all the planning videos. I will be back next week for regular Flosstube, and then I'm also going to film a WIP parade and like more detailed plans for 2020 that we'll post while we're gone. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the year, because it's the 12th. We're almost to the end of the year, guys. It has been an amazing year so far. Most of it. It's been a pretty crazy, fun year, and I'm really, obviously, looking forward to and planning for next year. So hope you guys had a great week, are enjoying the season, and I'll see you all next week. Cheers.